Hi, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brittany, and I'm going to talk about my 2026 reading challenge. All right, we're in the end of November. It's November 30th, and I have 1 month to finish my last four books of 2020. Hey, how y'all doing? This is Editing Brittany here. Jokes on me. I was confidently saying that I was going to finish only four books of this month of December. We'll add two more books. No, why is it four? Well, technically, it was four. I was down to two. Now I'm back to five. So my library books, I had books on hold for my library. Three of them were ready to be picked up. When I filmed this, that wasn't in the cards. I was still like 20th, 100, whatever. And next thing I know, three books were ready. So, so my plan half shifted. And plus, I'm at the point where I don't want to read right now. Not saying I don't want to read. I just don't want to uh, be main focus because I know it's the end of the year. And so most of these books, it's going to actually roll over into 2026, which gives me a head start because I will say it, past Brady will say it in just a second that my reading goal is going to be 120 books. So that's five out of the 120 out of the 100 out of the 120. So I don't remember if I say the books that I'm reading, but out of the four, I'm still reading Quicksilver and Fahrenheit 451. Now, the books that I picked up from the library that I had on hold, this wasn't me, like, let's go to the library and I'll pick up books. No, I had these books on hold for months and it finally came. So, this first book, actually, I should start the one that I just started reading. It's Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose. I started it last night, which by the time this is up, it'll be past. But anyways, so I started reading this. Uh, I'm like only on chapter three, so I don't know how I like it so far. And then the next book I'm reading or planning to read was supposed to be my Halloween choice book, but um, here we are in December. So that's how long. And I think I put this book, I think I requested it back in July, September, I believe, right when it just came out. So that's why it's taken long. But this is Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. So, like I said, this was supposed to be my Halloween read. I guess it's going to be my Christmas read. So I'm excited to read that. And then lastly, this is book two from the, oops, had it backwards. Hold on, or upside down. Book two from the Immortal Dark. I have not talked about Immortal Dark. Actually, I haven't done any of my monthly read up or monthly reading wrap up probably since July of this year. I have to be better with that. But uh, that's future Brittany's problem. But anyways, I we'll talk about Immortal Dark in my wrap up, but I'm giving it a chance so I can read this because I'm hoping that this will be better how I felt in the first book. So that is my third book. So those are the five books. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna finish all five books by the end of this month of December. So some of them, if not all, will be well, the library books will probably be done before then because I got to turn those books in by the 3rd of January. But Quicksilver and Fahrenheit 451 will definitely roll over into January. So that means Amy, who's my friend, my best friend, who we were supposed to be buddy reading this together, and she finished it, and I've been, like I said, laxy daisy. That's my part, or that's my fault. I'll I will finish it. It won't be for December, unfortunately. So, Amy, if you're watching this, I am sorry. Sorry that you had to find out this way instead of me texting it to you. But anyways, let me wrap this edit part because it doesn't need to be this long. So yeah, so instead of four books, it's now five. Um,
Yeah. Happy holidays, I guess.
25. So I figured come here, kind of talk about what my plans are for 2026. So there's some, at first, I wasn't going to do a reading goal, reading challenge. It was just going to be loosey goosey next year. But I was like, no, I should do a little bit of something. So I decided to make a reading goal for next year. It's going to be 120 books. I'm like almost there this year, but I know I'm not going to officially make it because the last 2 months, last month and this month, I've been kind of like in a slump, kind of sort of. So I just figured let's, so officially, I probably by December 31st, I'll be done with 116 books out of 100. So I've already surpassed my goal by 112 out of 100. I beat my full reading goal. I beat my secret reading goal. And here I am. So this or next year, I'll my goal is be 120. No secret goal. No, see if I can do this or do that. Because next year, on top of that, I'm planning to go back to school. Um, well, more towards the fall of next year, that I'm planning to go back to school and get a degree to become a librarian. Hopefully, I think it's in the cards. I'm nervous. I haven't, that's a whole nother conversation, but that's what my plans are. And on top of that, I want to do two reading challenges. They kind of coincide a little bit, which is nice because I don't have to do like pick one or the other. I can do both at the same time. So the first reading challenge I'm going to do called the Brain Rot Challenge would basically I think there's 9 rules, and basically it's just helping uh, me or you if you want to do it. And I'll link down the creator for this down below, to help me not be on my phone a lot. So hopefully this will work. And it's just basically kind of helping not doom scrolling. So I'm going to go through the rules. I'm not going to go like in details. I'm just going to say what the rules are and then go from there, because I also want to talk about the next reading challenge I want to do as well, which I kind of like low key did it for this year, but I kind of want to do it next year with this in mind. So with the brain rot rules, and this is by this story, ain't introverted. I think that's their handle is. So basically, rule one is that you read at least 145-minute sessions per day, and you annotate your book. So either you annotate your physical book with either highlighter, pencil, sticky notes, whatever how you annotate, you do that. Or if you're using a library book or somebody else's book that you're borrowing, you like jot it down on a notebook. So that just helps to kind of have the mindset of not being like, oh, I'm reading, but then I'm also scrolling on my phone. So no electronics, unless you're using your ebook, then that's different. But like, try not to use your cell phone. So that's one. Rule two is read at least one article slash essay per month on any topic that interests you. So that's which I think that part I'm more excited about, because there's a lot of interest um, that I am interested in, and it helps me kind of be what's like be current. I mean, I'm always current in our day to day whatever, but I think to kind of jot it down or write it or whatever. So and that's include essay, news article, something reputable as a media outlet, and or a written post from like an individual blog. So it doesn't have to necessarily be news media. It can be someone from like Substack, uh, Tumblr, if people still use it. What else? Notion, all that jazz. Next one is read at least one book by a BIPOC author for every book you read by a white author. trying to think. Have I read? To me, I read a mixture of both. So this is probably uh, it's going to be quite easy for me. So that's one. Um, Oh, rule 4 is read at least one book from the following 10 genres. So that's literary fiction, historical fiction, fantasy, science fiction, horror, romance, classics, historical or political, or both in between, science, and then memoir or biography. So those are your 10 genres. Rule 5 is read at least one book from the following format. So, as a play, a graphic novel, an anthology slash short story collection, or a translated book. Rule 6 is read from a list no, read from at least one book from each rule or each of the following 9 categories. So read a book from a queer slash LGBTQIAP plus main character, a book with a disability representation, a book by an author that's not from or in North America. Uh, Read a book by a Black author who is alive, a book by indigenous or a Native American author, a author who is South Asian or Asian author, a book by a Latinx author, a book by an East Asian author who is not Chinese, Japanese, or Korean, a book by a South Asian author who is not Indian, and that was it. And then rule 7, create your own critical media journal. Write down notes or reviews on each book you read, either movie, show you watch, and each article slash essay you read. Rule 8, create your own personal curriculum for each year or for each semester of the year, fall and winter, and then summer is optional or plus optional summer. So basically, you could it could be anything about learning from it could be anything about from learning more about a specific topic, learning a new skill slash language, or forming your own literary analysis. And then read 2 books from each curriculum, preferably at least one nonfiction, and then make use of your local library for research, which I use the library a lot, but I don't use it a lot for research. So I'll do that for sure. And then lastly, rule 9, do a buddy read or join a book club and discuss at least one book with other people. So if you don't have a book club, then she has her book club listed down below. And then if you have Fable, that helps a lot. Or there's another one that I'm thinking of, but I can't think of it. I'll list it down below. So that is the anti brain rot challenge. And then the next challenge I want to do is 75 booked. So this one, the rules are complete 245 reading sessions daily. One of them not being in bed, which that's going to be slightly a challenge for me because I like to read, or at least I try to read before going to bed instead of scrolling on my phone. So that um, I'll have to figure that out. Next one is finish a bottle of water during each session, which I need to work on is drink a lot of water. I don't drink a lot of water as I need to. Log in or log all reading and log all reading in a physical journal. So there's a lot of reading journals. I have plenty. You can get them practically everywhere nowadays. You can get them from Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Home Goods. What have I seen? I've seen it at Target. I don't want to promote Target, but if that's the only place you can go, I know people are boycotting Target at the moment, but Target's one of them. I have places. Happy Planner. I know Happy Planner is expensive, but they do have their own writing journals. There's a company that I like using. It's called Kensia Kensia Co. They have good writing journals. You can do it for avid readers. So if you're a big reader, they'll have a good chunky one. Or if you just want to test it out, they have a thinner, skinny one. I posted it here. What else? you can make your own. I've seen a lot of people do that. So you're very artsy fartsy about it. You can do that. I cannot draw for the life of me. So I will not, even though I would like to that do that, I just can't. I tried, maybe down the line, but so if you can afford those, you can also make your own reading journal as well. There's people have done it on free website as well. So there's options to do reading journals. And lastly is no purchasing books. All books must be already owned, bought secondhand, or rented through through a library service. So once again, uh, I've always say support your local libraries, support your indie bookstores. If it's not, if indie bookstores are not uh, easy accessible like libraries will always be your best friend. So I'm down for that, and I always talk about that. So once again, I'll be using the library as always. And there was something else. And I think that was it. Let me go back to it. Oops, that's not what I want. I want this. And that's it for the 75 booked. So my 75 booked, I will use the sticky notes here. I'll just have to move the sticky notes up some so I can add more days. And that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have a actual TBR for next year. I've only read the TBR that I made this year. I read how many? I think 15 books I've read off of that list. So what I'm going to do is just modify it. So it'd be the same list as this year, but just I guess do something different with it. So I might so the 15 spaces I'll have for it, I might add like a challenge on myself. Like if I can't figure out a book to read, I'll go read uh a nonfiction or rule or wild card or whatever. So I might do that with that for this year, but I'm or for next year. So I'm definitely not going to have um, a concrete TBR. I mean, whose TBR? No one's TBR is very concrete. It keeps changing. I keep adding more books. So that's that's gonna be a whole nother thing. But I think I'm gonna keep the books I didn't read for this year. I'm just gonna move it over for next or what did I say? The books that I have for this year, I'm gonna move it over for next year. So that will be um we're gonna keep it cute and demure and that's it. But yeah, that's pretty much. And then also I'll do maybe some other small um, reading challenges in between as well. But both of these are I'm planning. I know for the brain rot challenge, it's starting from January 1st to December 31st, so I have a whole year. The 75 booked is obviously for only 75 days. So that kind of help. And like I said, it kind of coincide with one another a little bit. And then there's also reading challenges that happens throughout the year that I want to participate that I never get a chance to do, or I overbook myself with books and never get a chance to actually do it. So I'll do that. And what else? I think next year I'll read some. I didn't. Am I going to read Christmas books this year? Probably not. So I'll probably want to do that next year. Read some Christmas books, some more summer themed books. So we'll see. And I'm trying not to be also locked in books. So that's why I'm not really going to make a 2026 TBR for next year because I barely touched my list for this year. So, but I will try to go on the list that I had for this year for next year, if that makes sense. But other than that, I think that's it. I'm still in a book buying ban. I will have to extend it by a day because I am buying a book for my book club. I, for, I realized I don't have this book, and the library has the book, but it's like I think it's like a 6 month wait for this book for it. So we're my book club. We're gonna read Fahrenheit 451 for the month of December. Oh, I forgot. It's gonna be 5 books, not 4 books. Dang it, that's fine. I forgot. I forgot that's part of my that that's okay. I'll work it out. So it's gonna be 117 books. Hopefully by December 31st that I finish for this year. But anyways, so yeah, so I'll have to extend my book buying an extra day because I'm buying a book. But other than that, that's it. This was I didn't have a structure for it. Like I said, I've been going back and forth if I wanted to do an actual reading goal for next year. I wasn't going to do it, but I kind of want to because I have two new reading apps, tracking reading apps that I'm using. So I kind of want to also put a goal so I can truly figure out if I like these reading apps so I can delete or not use. Well, the goal is not to use Goodreads for next year. I ended up using Goodreads this year, which I don't want to talk about it. But so yeah, so my goal for next year is to wean myself off of Goodreads for sure. So by December 31st of 2026, I'll come back and say I am good free or I'm good reads free and I'm using other apps. But I do have like Storygraph. I'm still using Fable. Um and I'm using what's the other two that I'm using? Pagebound. Pagebound I'm using, which I actually like. And then I'm using Reading Journey, which is another one. And then next year I want to try to use TBR Bookshelf app. So currently I'm using 6 book trackers. Of I guess Tome is one in a way. Um, but I don't really use Tome for tracking my books. It's just using it to post books that I'm reading that's part of the fantasy books. But on that note, I think that's it. Your girl here is going to wrap it up. I got to finish getting stuff together for work on Monday. But other than that, I hope you like this video. Are you going to do any reading challenges for next year? If you are, let me know. Link it, not link it, but let me know down in the comments. That's what I wanted to say. And like, comment, and subscribe. Support your local library. Support your lucky blah blah blah. Blah. Support your local indie bookstores. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. Bye.